Okay, several wake-up calls there, Brew. Is it panic time in Baltimore?
Well, I'll say on that, Lamar does, and he did seem throughout the game frustrated. He sounds frustrated, which I kind of like. Like it's a freaking wake-up call, but all these other things have been too. I'm not panicked. Obviously, if they beat the Chiefs, I feel like, okay, everything is right in Ravens world. I'm sure they'll feel the same way. But there's a lot. I won't even panic, Danny, if they lose to the Chiefs because their division, Cincinnati, no Joe Burrow. Obviously, Cleveland's not good. Pittsburgh's not really that good. They should win the division, get in the playoffs. But for them, it's S-Bob, of course. And I'm not panicked about that, but that defense is not a AFC championship caliber defense. Last year, they improved greatly on the second half of the season. I thought they were going to come in this year and pick up where they left off last year defensively and be great.
Yep.
But they got a lot of work to do there. And what was alarming yesterday was the way they just were pushed around, which you rarely see the Ravens. They're one of the toughest teams in the league. You rarely see them pushed around. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't stop the run. And that was alarming.
Some people said they looked like breakdancers. I mean, I wouldn't have done it, but some people said they looked like breakdancers.
I'm counting on the Ravens seeing that.
Oh, yeah.
And going into Kansas City and making amends for that. Yeah. But no, I'm not panicked, but there's a lot to be concerned about. There's no question.
Yeah, I wouldn't panic. We're pretty much aligned there because they've won double-digit games, 6 of the last 7 years. They're going to win the division. It feels like the floor here is the 3 seed in the AFC, and then we will just talk about them as like, okay, let's see if they can do it in January. To your point about the defense, though, what I would be fearing if I'm a Ravens fan is that last year was the best shot, where like the stars all aligned and the defense and the offense were both elite. Because you're right, the defense at the beginning of last year, and we can show it because it was awful. It was also stark, like in terms of it went from awful to the literal best in the league, and now it's back to being awful again. And last year the explanation was, well, they moved Kyle Hamilton around. Right. It took Nate Wiggins, their first-round pick, a little bit of time. They gelled and they
New D coordinator
because McDonald went to Seattle, exactly. But now, like, there's continuity there, and so is it just, Matabuke's injured and Van Noy's injured, and it's like should we be talking about the Ravens defense like we talk about the Chiefs offense? Well, when they get Worthy and Rashee Rice back, that's the same thing for the 2 top players on the Ravens. I don't know the answer to that, but I also know we won't get the answer till January.
Well, hold on. I think I know the answer to that because we saw the Ravens defense in week 1 with those guys. Let the Bills do whatever they wanted. And
that is the Bills. Weird things happen in week 1. Bills are an elite offensive team.
Well, right, but they got this is my frustration. So I am panicked for Baltimore. Mm-hmm. And people can say, Nick, it's a double standard between the Chiefs and the Ravens. For me, yes, 100% it is, and I think the Chiefs have earned it. And as far as what it would take for me to panic about the Chiefs being able to flip a switch in January is very different. And the Ravens have done the opposite of earn the benefit of the doubt. The Ravens are a team that could go 15-2 with the number 1 offense and number 3 defense, and there would still be a level of, I saw that once before. And so, yes, I do have a bit of a double standard here. But I also think that I don't know if we can show it or not, Dust, the Chiefs offense to the Ravens defense, because you kind of set up my point. The Chiefs offense has been mid. The Ravens defense has been awful. That's the difference. Like the Chiefs offense is, and we'll show it at some point, is middle of the pack in everything. Yep. And the Ravens defense at the moment is close to last in everything. And then you add to it, so like that is different. It's neither is good, you know what I mean? But one is catastrophic and the other is disappointing, particularly given who your quarterback is. And you add that to the fact that to me, and this was, I thought, apparent at the beginning of the game, they seemed pressed. Now, the Chiefs have seemed pressed, but the Chiefs were on the first 3-game losing streak the team had ever dealt with. You know what I mean? Since Patrick's been there. There were things going on. Lamar's body language immediately seemed odd for a team that was coming off a win and whose offense had scored 40 in both of their games. You know what I mean? Like
I mean, they're right now they average 37 points a game.
Yes.
Like they're
Right.
and they're 1-2. So look, unless they lived in a hole, you would think they got to be feeling the heat. They know. You talked about last year being kind of things they were in the perfect situation.
It felt like it to
2
me.
years ago too. When they lost to the Chiefs,
home
they were in a
field.
perfect situation, right? And that, so the last 2 years, they've kind of been right there, not played their best football in the postseason, with strange happenings, just a great tight end dropping a ball and a fumble by Derrick. Like, all these things happening, they are definitely feeling the heat. Lamar probably is he's hearing the noise about you got to win a Super Bowl. You know, you don't do it in the playoffs, and Josh at least plays well in the playoffs. So I do think they're probably feeling the heat, and that's why they need to beat the Chiefs to just get some peace of mind.
Okay, listen, I buy that because they did look frustrated last night. But to your point on the double standard, Nick, like if you will have questions about them at 15-2. You also will have questions about them at 11-6.
Oh,
because like the question is,
no matter what,
the question is, can the Ravens play their best football in January for 3 or 4 consecutive weeks? That's the only thing that an SBOB team matters, right?
Yes, but the distinction is this. If they're 15-2 and the answer to that question is yes, then they win the Super Bowl. If they're 11-6, if you are a 15-2 caliber team and you play your best in the playoffs, you win the Super Bowl. The Ravens team that I have seen thus far this year at its best will not win the Super Bowl. You understand what I mean? Like if you're an 11-6 team, that you typically, your best is not good enough to get to the Super Bowl. And so I think that the Ravens right now, that Lamar is an unbelievable player, an all-time great. The rest of the team, it's like, wait, so why was he sacked 7 times?
Yeah.
And why is Derrick Henry, why for the first time in Lamar's career did they go back-to-back games without rushing for 100 yards? Right. The first time. And then we get to the defense, and then we get to the fact that the coach, it is pretty consistent to me that in these tight spots, and we talk game management stuff, the other coach does a better job than Harbaugh. Like I thought Dan Campbell going for that 4th down was something that it felt to me like in the flip side Harbaugh wouldn't have. And I'm not saying Harbaugh necessarily needed to go for his 4th. He had like 4th and 9 with 6 minutes left. I thought that was a borderline one. I'm not going to kill him for that. There's just a lot of pieces of Baltimore that through 3 weeks are alarming for a team that doesn't have the don't worry, we've been there before pedigree.
Brew, can I give you put one take on the take chip board? And I think I established that this was my take on the Ravens. I wouldn't mind if they didn't have home field advantage in the playoffs.
Well, luckily they're not going to.
Well, if they had a few rough losses and they didn't just have cruise control and it's like week 16 and we're like rest versus rust for the Ravens, they cruised, that they have some tough losses. They have to address some stuff during the season.
I think we talked about,
like Lamar knows, like, you know what? I'm not going to get sacked. I'm just going to take off now more. Derrick Henry gets another lesson, oddly, on ball security. That seems a little bit too elementary. But maybe it's just through the fire.
I think that's a good point. Like last year, they had very little adversity after starting 1-2. This year, some would help. But what would also help is beating an elite team. Like they've lost to Buffalo. They've lost to Detroit. If they lose to the Chiefs, they only got one more elite team on the schedule. That's another reason you don't need to panic. I mean, Texans now, Rams, if you count the Rams. But look at the last 2 columns.
It's the Packers.
It gets light.
Yeah.
Right. Like the
so
Bears,
that's an
the
interesting
Dolphins.
Point, Brew. If they lose to the Chiefs, they won't have many opportunities to prove them that they're
then they're
metal
all
against
bad
great
I mean, the
teams.
Rams is kind of, but the Packers will be the last chance.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Caleb
be
by
the
that could
elite
be on
team.
like a 4 or 5 game
that's
winning
true.
streak.
Yeah.
You gotta
Our guy.
gotta just
Me
be
and
aware
Danny's
there.
guy. Yeah, that's true. Beating the Bears could be hard to do.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Lions moved to 2-1 with a complete game on offense and defense. Dan Campbell feeling caffeinated and great. Did the Lions officially put the league on notice, Parkins?
I mean, if you haven't been noticing the Lions, I didn't need that game last night.
Oh, really?
Personally. I
Well,
did.
because you overrate the Bears.
No,
I don't think it has.
I mean, you thought them beating the Bears 52. Oh my gosh!
Wow, what can't they do?
wow,
I hadn't considered that. Yeah. Maybe that's there in the subconscious. No, listen, I've picked the Lions to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl now 3 consecutive years. Like, I feel like I was an early adopter.
their Super Bowl pick this year.
They were my, Bills Lions.
Oh, I forgot. Okay, I had forgotten that.
Bills
All right,
Lions. So yeah, I didn't buy into the idea that, they lost Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, they were going to deteriorate. Like, to me, the team you saw last night is the team that I feel like we as football fans were robbed of seeing in the NFC Championship game last year against Philadelphia. Like that team with Aiden Hutchinson, with a pass rush, with an elite offense, like, because their investments are more on the offensive side of the ball, but their blueprint is score a ton of points, play with a lead, and then get after the quarterback and sack you. And they were able to do it to Lamar Jackson, so I feel like they could do it to just about anybody. It's just some facts about the Lions. Most points in the NFL since 2023, the Lions. 3rd point differential team in the NFL since 2023, the Lions. Most yards since 2023, the Lions. Like they've been great for a while, and last year they just got very unlucky with injuries on one side of the ball. They were a 15-win 1 seed. So we don't talk about them as accomplishing a ton because they've been more of a regular season team. I understand that. But that was not shocking to me at all.
So listen, despite the fact that at the very end of yesterday's show I picked the Ravens to win, about 2 minutes before kickoff, I like to bet what I'm rooting for at times.
Sure. Yeah.
And I was rooting for the Ravens to lose because it would be a better show and it's better for the Chiefs. So I bet the Lions and the over, and then was sweating it in our gambling group chat that you guys are not in because you guys are not the gamblers of the show.
Don't you feel left out?
It's me, Danny, and Adam Lefko, to be totally honest. Just sharing different bets.
And sweating
and
together.
That's what I was rooting for. It is not what I anticipated because, and this is where they did put me on notice, so to speak, the 2 things that I was most worried about going into the season this year was, with the changes at the interior of that offensive line, are they going to be able to run Dan Campbell's style of smash mouth football? Last night, they were as smash mouth as they've ever been. You know what I mean? Those 2 95-yard drives were unbelievable. Mm-hmm. I know one had the super long chunk play on a run, but this first one didn't.
Right.
And then the other one was, where is Jared Goff's mindset? Because where I disagree with you, Danny, is the Lions' injuries last year maybe could have cost them a Super Bowl in a lot of universes. But the reason they didn't make the NFC Championship game last year is because Jared Goff had a 4-turnover playoff game, and that was not the Lions' defensive injuries. And I was worried that how was that going to land on him this season, especially when Week 1 went as poorly as it did. I thought it was, whether it was intentional or not, them going for that 4th down and putting the ball in his hands to ice that game was huge, and that he came through. So to me, it did knock the Lions up a level in my brain of where I looked at them, because I didn't think their window was closed, but I thought their best shot probably was 2 years ago and last year, and this year it's going to be different. So yeah, they put me on notice.
Yeah, I thought it was a huge statement game, Danny, because obviously Week 1 they got pushed around. They ran for like 45 yards against Green Bay. Green Bay, I thought, kind of did to them what they did to Baltimore. The numbers are different, but, Green Bay was more physical than them. And then the Bears, we'll see what the Bears become. But that was like, okay, what are the Bears? So that didn't right the ship for me. This righted the ship. And to me, they went from, in my mind, being like definitely a playoff team, win a playoff game or 2, to now back to, they're a legit Super Bowl contender. I wouldn't be surprised to see them represent the NFC. So that was huge. And I thought also for Dan Campbell, we're not going to hear much, I don't expect, more about Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn being gone.
I don't think you should.
No, it's he changed the culture there, and last night kind of stamped it.
Their talent is just pretty overwhelming. Like, if you just start going around their offense, it's like, is that the best tackle duo in the NFL? It's in the conversation. Is it the best running back duo in the NFL?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah. Amon-Ra St. Brown hasn't dropped a pass in 2 years.
Yeah, top 3 wide receiver in the game.
Is that true, or you're just saying that?
No, they showed it on the broadcast.
Yeah.
Last year he had
He's
169
ridiculous.
targets, 100, and he did not drop a pass last season, and he hasn't dropped one this season.
Right. Like
That's what they-
Laporte is elite.
Yeah.
Goff has
Yeah,
been great. Like they're an awesome football team.
KW.
Yeah.
You missed your ex a bit?
You know
This
what?
is his ex, and now he's
Yeah.
run off with the Eagles.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I didn't run off. What I wonder is, you start a new season. You know that meme with, it's like a Spider-Man meme, but the other Spider-Man meme, where it's like the guy's like doing his glasses, and it's like, oh, you get refocused. I think you come into the year and be like, are these good teams still the same team? And the only teams are the Eagles still the Eagles? Like, I'm not 100% sure. Are the Chiefs still the Chiefs?
I don't know.
I don't know. Are the Ravens still the Ravens? Are the Vikings still the Vikings? No. I have some no's and I have some maybes. It really feels like
The Bills.
the
and
Bills, the Bucks, and the Lions. Am I missing anybody that feels like you guys are still good, have the same
Chargers
identity
better.
and feel? Yeah, some teams got better, obviously, but like
The
you guys
carryover.
still have the same team and still have the same momentum.
No, I think there's another team definitely on that list. Same team as last year, the Patriots.
Got him.
No, there's a shadow of a doubt.
I'm talking about good teams.
Oh, my bad, my bad. Sorry.
Not teams that
Maybe
are
the Rams.
rebuilt. The Rams, no, the Rams got shut out. Well, they are the same team, just lose to the Eagles guys.
Yeah, there you go.
Everybody's all American. Oh, the arm angles. Put it on repeat. Jaxson Dart, now the starting QB of the New York Giants. He'll be under center when the Chargers come to town Sunday at 1. Russ's Giants tenure, pretty short-lived. 3 games, 2 not great games, 1 awesome game against the Cowboys. Was benching Russ the right move right now, Danny Parkins?
I would have done it week 1. Personally, to me, you want to find out if these guys are the guys as soon as possible.
Even if they're not ready, so I think that's a mistake.
But if he wasn't ready week 1, how is he ready now? I guess that's my.
I mean,
Exactly.
You can improve in a month. I mean, really.
You can, but do you think they're playing him now because he's ready or because of how bad Russ was?
Well, it's obviously Russ. Yeah.
Well, so then
and
to
they
me-
wanted to. They were thinking, as everyone was thinking, they had a great defense or would, and they're thinking, let's see if we can get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like they had playoff aspirations, and they
Sure.
thought Russ could help them get there.
But Jaxson Dart matters to the future of the Giants more than Russell Wilson does.
Future, yes.
Obviously, right? And so starting the clock on that future because Russell Wilson was bad for 3 games, like you should be basing everything through the prism, for me, of Jaxson Dart. And so what I would worry about now is, are they going to play him before he's ready, to your point, and then play him with a coach that they're ultimately going to fire, and he's going to have 2 coaches in 2 years? Because that is how you stunt the development of a young quarterback. There are countless examples of that throughout the NFL.
So this, I 100% agree with you. The problem I have with this is the process. And it's if Jackson, you are trying to win games, you are also trying, whenever you draft a first-round quarterback, to develop that quarterback as well as possible. And to me, it is at cross purposes trying to tell people he was not ready. He was not the best option after week 1. It is September 23rd. He's the best option now.
They don't know
That
what
part to me
But
is
did they
it goes to
say-
your point that some of these teams, they just don't know what they're
I
doing.
know we're dumb.
Did they say that he wasn't ready? Because again, Dable and those guys are thinking, we're going to make the playoffs this year and save our jobs. We got a Super Bowl winning quarterback, granted, past his prime, but still, he helped Pittsburgh get to the playoffs. We know we got a strong defense like Pittsburgh had a year ago. We got a great receiver. Let's go out there and win some games. Now it's over. Now to even to Dable and his staff, you understand it's all about developing this guy.
but they have to
hopefully
win now.
saving
I
our
don't-
jobs. Yeah, they got to win some games, but I mean they're not going to make the playoffs. But, if they win 7 games with Dart looking pretty good,
Well, that
might
that
save
part
their
is
job.
true. That going, the Giants going 7-10 with Russell Wilson starting 17 games is a what the hell was that for a
Yes.
season? The Giants going 7-10 with Jaxson Dart starting the rest of the way is we feel good about that part of it. I agree with you there, bro.
Yeah, if he looks good. But you should be playing Jaxson Dart on Jaxson Dart's timeline, not on Russell Wilson's
Right.
timeline.
The argument is that actually maybe Jameis should be starting.
Correct.
Like if Jaxson, this is what if Jaxson Dart wasn't ready 23 days ago or however long ago, less than that, then and you can't play Russ anymore, then it's probably Jameis while you wait. But I think this is about avoiding boos and avoiding empty seats because I think that's what gets coaches fired.
Listen, I test off preseason, so it's basically meaningless, but I watched it, so I'll say it.
Look sick.
He looked pretty good.
He looked really good.
I'm excited for this, and I absolutely see a reasonable path that he is better than Russell Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
So it's,
This year,
it's
he should
definitely
be.
on the board that Giants players in that locker room are like, all right, let's go.
Well, I do
Malik
think
Neighbors
they
is
were.
psyched.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I think they were really turned off by what they saw from Russ in the last game.
I
You
would
could have. Their
imagine.
spirits may have been broken, so you might have had to make the change.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Get it? Top 10 Tuesday. Danny Parkins, Greg Jennings, and Willie Colon entering in at number 10 for the first time. The Indianapolis Colts, but pour one out for their punter, Rigoberto Sanchez.
Who?
Exactly. And it's not just because he's a punter. The Colts have been so good offensively, they've punted once all year. 3-0, one punt. You deserve a spot in the top 10. I don't make the rules. I just enforce them. Number 9. Sorry you lose to the Browns. You drop all the way to number 9 with the Green Bay Packers. And listen, their greatness, like their best, is really good. But the bad is a big yikes. And Jordan Love, I struggle trusting him when he has at least one turnover in 13 of their 17 losses since 2023, including the playoffs. He has 24 touchdowns and 23 turnovers in their losses since 2023. Like, when he turns the ball over, they tend to lose.
Catastrophic.
And obviously those two things are correlated for every team, but he just throws a lot of interceptable passes. Too many for me to fully trust him. Coming in at number 8, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers up just one spot from last week. Obviously the wins are impressive. Obviously the clutchness is great. And I, like everyone, love the Bake Show. I don't know how sustainable this is.
Well, they're hot. Let them go.
I understand Mike Evans with the injury, but they're getting Wirfs back. They're getting Godwin back. I'd love to see this offense fully healthy because I still do think they've got a top 5 ceiling on the offensive side of the ball. The LA Rams, I said before the year, I doubted you with health. Now that you've proven that you're healthy and Stafford's staying upright, I fully believe in what this team is able to do. But it's really not about Stafford. Even though Puka Nacua has been incredible, this defense just continues to impress. What they've been able to do with young players on the defensive side of the ball to make a consistent impact makes them one of the toughest outs in the NFL. They are tied for the most sacks in the NFL. Coming in at number 6, I know this will be controversial.
Oh, Danny.
It's the Kansas City Chiefs.
Let them go.
No, I'm not going to. This is the pivot point this week for the Kansas City Chiefs because the numbers obviously are alarming. But it's the Chiefs. But these are all career worst through 3 weeks for Mahomes. Passing touchdowns, rating, completion percentage, yards per attempt, and a big one, points. But beat Baltimore, get back to 2-2. We've talked about this for years, Greg, and we'll get into it. But I give you a little bit more leeway if you've been great for a while. Teams like the Lions, the Chiefs, the Eagles, etc. So the Chiefs for now at number 6. If they lose to Baltimore, we will revisit it next Tuesday. Coming in at number 5, the aforementioned Baltimore Ravens. The defense is alarming. It was alarming last year. It's alarming again, but then it got great by the end of last year. Can they do it again? I don't know the answer to that. This is the ultimate time will tell thing. We were talking about it with Brew and Nick and Wilds before. They could, to me, 15-2 and 11-6 is the exact same thing for the Baltimore Ravens. What are they going to be in January? I know the team right now can't stop anybody, but their offense is so good. I'm splitting the difference and putting them at number 5. The Lions took a big jump, though, up 3 spots this week to number 4. Listen, the Lions' offense, when it's rolling, is simply the best in football over the last 3 years. Just some facts here for you. That was the 11th game the Lions have scored 36 or more points since 2023. That's the most in the NFL. When Jared Goff is on over the last 3 seasons in wins, 72% completion percentage, 7,500 yards, 61 touchdowns, all best in the NFL. This guy's ridiculous. Their offense, when it's humming, which is honestly basically more consistently than any team in the league based on points scored the last 3 seasons, they're unbelievable. So right now at number 4, I could easily see this one actually, frankly, going up. And before the year I expected it to, they were my pick to win the NFC. Coming in at number 3, the LA Chargers. Undefeated, figuring out a way to win. Both sides of the ball, Justin Herbert playing better football than anyone in the NFL. And then you factor in what their defense is. Here's the thing. In college football, it was Clemsoning. In the NFL, it was Chargering. They just figured out ways to lose. How about this? Not anymore. In one-score games, they now have a winning record. Under Jim Harbaugh, they used to be one of the worst teams in the NFL at it. In the clutch situations, the fourth quarter, they used to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. Now Justin Herbert has a passer rating over 120. Chargering no more. You actually trust this team to figure, they're down in the fourth quarter to the Denver Broncos? Not a problem. They're going to figure it out, and they did. Coming in at number 2, no change, the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, he probably would win the MVP if it was over right now. No turnovers for 8 straight games going back to last year. I mean,
impressive.
That is just a remarkable thing given where he was. We know their offense is incredible. Defense is not elite. I'd rather have an elite offense than an elite defense, and I definitely love Josh Allen if he's not turning the ball over. And again, don't make the rules, just enforce them. But until further notice, number 1, the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah. Listen, you're the champs, and you keep losing. You lose, you'll drop. You don't lose, you stay atop. I was immensely impressed with the 3 passing touchdowns and over 200 passing yards in the second half for Jalen Hurts. Their defensive line is ridiculous. Their defense is talented and young and getting better. And I think they might actually start throwing to A.J. Brown. A revolutionary thought. There is your perfect top 10. Greg Jennings, I assume you agree completely.
I definitely don't agree with the top 10 being perfect.
Perfect.
It's a couple
it's
issues.
Unattainable.
It's a couple issues that I have with it. Obviously, the Packers and where they are. There's a team in red, not the Bucks, but go a little left. The Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
We got to knock them down. I'm not going to beat up on the Ravens because the Lions did that last night. So I'm going to focus on the Chiefs.
Okay.
We got to drop the Chiefs. And I understand what you're saying as far as their resume and who they've always been in that pedigree. Well, that pedigree shows up at its best in the postseason. Over the course of the regular season, they've typically been able to get it done. This year looks a lot different. And for them to look the way that they did, even in their last game outing here in New York against the Giants, it just doesn't look right. And I know we can point to what they don't have offensively, what they're not able to do defensively, but these are all the reasons. Even when we look at Patrick Mahomes, it looks like he's pressing even more. I just don't think this team is as good as advertised right now. And now that doesn't mean that I believe that they're not a top 10 team. They are just not, at this moment, better than the Green Bay Packers. They're not better than the LA Rams. They're not better than the Buccaneers. I'll give you the Colts because there's still questions out on the Colts.
So you have them as the 10th best team in the NFL.
But I'll put them at 9, 10, yeah.
All right, listen, and again, it's a fluid list. I fully admit my own bias. Like if you are a consistent team, it takes more than one blip for me to drop you. I'm not quite there yet.
It's been a couple blips.
but to teams that are 1 and 3 on the list.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? Like, they don't have the bad loss yet. And by the way, the Ravens would not be that bad of a loss. Like preview for next Top 10 Tuesday, they might hang out at number 9 or 10.
Of course.
If they lose to Baltimore. After that, though, they could fall. All right, Willie, perfect list.
Allow me to be petty. I'm gonna drop the Green Bay Packers down a peg. I'm gonna put them in the 10th spot. And
what?
Yeah, listen. When it comes to the Green Bay Packers, they can't find love in the fourth quarter. Right? The defenses have figured out if I play too high, rush 4, and make Jordan Love force him to make layered throws, the offense goes nowhere. I mean, they're stagnant and stale, especially with the run game. So if you're looking at the Packers overall, when they need Jordan Love the most, we showed the interception, and when you talk about the run game not showing up, he can't shoulder this offense. So I don't know where the Green Bay Packers go if Jordan Love doesn't show up in situational football. They look average when he falls stale. So you could talk about the defense, but it all comes down to Jordan Love's shoulders. And we said it yesterday, he's streaky, man.
He is.
Can't count on him.
Which is why their defense has been great, and the Browns' defense is going to make a lot of people look bad. And Jordan Love at times, I'm sure, will have 5 touchdown games and beat good teams. I just don't know how much to
What you
trust
gonna
them.
get,
I don't know how
right?
much to trust
Yeah,
them.
I mean, they remind me a little bit of what's going on with the Eagles. Like they were relying on the running game last season when we saw them make their run, and they were having a lot of success with Josh Jacobs, and it was opening up everything else. This year, their running game hasn't been as prominent and as effective, and so I think that's impacting them.
But
Jordan
we-
Love, I agree, he has to be better in moments,
my
but
point
he's
is
been
we trust
good.
Love. I mean, we trust Hurts after what he did against the Rams, right? There's no question about.
We do. I don't know if the media or
There's
the world
no
at
way
large
anybody
does.
can have any doubt about
Do we?
Jalen Hurts.
Listen, he's got the ring on his finger and he's
God,
playing
Daddy,
well.
no.
No, I trust
Daddy.
him. I trust him not to make the mistake that Jordan Love
Do
does.
you
I
trust
would-
Jalen Hurts over Jordan Love?
Yes.
That's all I need.
Yes, he will
Thank
not turn the ball over like Jordan Love will turn the ball over.